Family, this is my last day in Bermuda aboard Norwegian Prima, and I decided to do one more excursion. The excursion is entitled Glass Bottom Boat and Sightseeing Cruise. Stay tuned. It's another beautiful day in Bermuda. I'm going to show you this beautiful day, my last day here, and I have enjoyed it so far. Here it is. One last time as I go towards my excursion. If you've never been to Bermuda, I recommend coming here at least once. This was a 7-day cruise, so I recommend a 7-day cruise so that you can get so much out of it. You can do so many things in those 3 days. Unfortunately, there is a storm that's supposed to be coming, so we're leaving here today a little earlier than expected. But we had 2 full days and today to get a lot of things done and to see a lot of things. And then if you want to come back again for a shorter cruise for the things that you have not seen. So this is the 3rd day that I've been out doing something in Bermuda. Make sure you go check out those other 2 videos. One day I did something completely on my own, and then the next day I did an excursion, and today, final day, I'm doing another excursion. So you can see all the things that I did in these 3 days, and of course you can do so much more because there's so many beaches and things that you can see as well. And we're moving. And this is our vessel for the tour. First part of the tour is a sightseeing part of the tour, so we're on top of the boat. Then we will go underneath for the glass bottom part of the tour.
Just a few introductions to get you started, guys. My name is Paul. I'll be your tour guide, boat captain, bartender, whatever it takes. I'm pretty versatile. We also have Selena on board as well. Selena's also a tour guide and a bartender. Okay, so worst comes to worst, we have 2 bartenders. Yeah, it works out, right? Now, the most important part of the tour, you are sitting on her. She is the looking glass. Now, I heard a couple people asking about the whereabouts of our glass bottom as they got on the boat. Anybody want to enlighten these people as to where the glass bottom might be on our glass bottom boat?
On the bottom.
Yeah. Actually, it's a big scam. We don't have one. Yeah, what we do is we get you all downstairs, run you from one side of the boat to the other, flip the boat up on its side, and have you look through the windows. Yeah, it leaks a little bit, but it works. Alright. Now, there is a glass bottom down there. Nothing to see right now. That's why we're not sitting downstairs. Once we get out to where we can actually see something, then we'll take you downstairs. Cool? Cool. Alright. Downstairs with the glass bottom, we have a bar. There's a bar. Fun group. Alright, nice. Nice thing about our bar, we got the cheapest drinks in Bermuda. Yeah, $5 across the board. But what I'd like to do on the way out, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know you guys have probably done a lot of tours already, probably heard a lot of this stuff, seen a lot of this stuff. So if you have any questions, it just gets to you hear about what you want to hear about instead of what I'm just going to ramble on about. Me and Selena, we're both local, so we know pretty much everything there is to know about the island. Everybody drink tea? Earl Grey? Yeah, that's his bridge. Back in the 1800s, we had a bunch of investors throw money into the island, and that's what he done. Little tiny bridge. But what you will notice about this side of the island, it's not as hilly as the rest of the island, right? As you move around, you see most of the island does have quite a few hills. This side, though, pretty flat. Okay? The reason for this is because when the early settlers first got to Bermuda in 1609, they first colonized St. George's. Right? St. George's is the 2nd oldest town in the New World. Right? Jamestown, Virginia is number 1. St. George's is number 2. So they first colonized St. George's. But when they came ashore, Bermuda looked nothing like this, right? We were full of Bermuda cedar trees. So what they did was they started chopping down the cedar trees to build their houses. But they quickly realized Bermuda sits smack dab in the middle of a hurricane belt. So building a house out of wood in a hurricane belt, every time you had a storm, you had to rebuild the house, right? So by 1630, they decided that they were going to start to build out of stone, right? 1630, which is pretty early. you know, especially considering Florida still haven't really grasped the whole concept yet. You know, trailer parks in a hurricane belt. But anyway, we started building out of stone, and the stone that we used was limestone, which is what Bermuda is made up of. Bermuda was formed by a volcano, but you won't find any volcanic rock. We're a limestone cap that sits on top of a volcano. It looks volcanic because it's got that dark gray look to it, but what that is, that's just a cyanobacteria that grows on the outside of the rock. It hardens it up and protects it. Once you get past that bacteria, it's extremely easy to manipulate. You can scoop it out with a spoon, right? That's how soft the rock is. So because the rock was so soft and easy to manipulate, everybody was down in St. George's at the time. Nobody was up here in Somerset. What they do is they bring their ships from St. George's up here to Somerset. They quarry the stone from Somerset and take it down to St. George's to build their houses. So a lot of the earlier houses that were built in Bermuda are actually built with stone from Somerset. Now, they ran into another problem. Because the limestone is so soft, it's extremely porous. So it doesn't hold any water, right? So you build a house out of limestone, you end up with a leaky roof, leaky walls. No Home Depot back then, so you couldn't just go buy any sealant to seal up your houses. So what they had to do, they had to come up with a natural source of oil to seal up their walls. Anybody know what type of oil we would have used? Whales. We tried the whales. The whales only migrate between March and April, so we couldn't catch enough whale to sustain the population throughout the year. There's another creature here. It's here mostly year round. Might see a couple of them today. Not dolphins, no. Turtles. Yeah, turtles. So what we do is we go out, we catch a turtle, we'd squeeze it, get the oil out of it, and then we let it go. Yeah, it's for you. So anyway, we used the turtle oil to seal our walls, right? And the turtle oil was like an off-white color. And the story goes that one day this guy ran low on turtle oil and he didn't feel like going out and catching another turtle. So what he did, he mixed the turtle oil up with the soil to try and stretch it as far as possible. The soil here is like a reddish clay color. So when he mixed it with the off-white, he got the traditional Bermuda pink. Yeah, exactly. So back then your house was either off-white or it was pink. Yeah, now we're on like 6,000 different shades. Some of them should be regulated, like the lime greens and fluorescent purples and stuff, but there's no rule. You can paint your house whatever color you like. You like your neighbor, you match them. If you don't like them, then you clash them. Yeah, it's just kind of how it works. Now, one thing you will see that's the same on all our houses though, the roofs, right? They're all white. You guys know why that is?
Limestone.
Reflect the heat. That's a benefit of it. The reason for it though is because we collect our rainwater off our roof. Every house has its own cistern. Nobody has a basement. You're responsible for collecting your own rainwater. The average cistern will hold between 6,000 to 7,000 gallons of water. There's a lot of water underneath your house, right? The reason that they're white though is because this is one of the few things they still use the limestone for. They'll cut the limestone into slates and stack them on top of each other, kind of like your shingles. That's what gives you the steps in the roof. So the newer architecture, you'll see the steps, but as you go around like the dockyard area in particular, you'll see a lot of flat roofs. That was the original architecture, was a flat roof. But they quickly realized that when the rain comes most of the time, so does the wind. So what was happening, the wind was pushing the water too fast down to the gutter stone and overflowing. So you're losing a lot of the water that you were trying to catch, right? So they put the steps in the roof to slow the flow of the water down to the gutter stone and enable you to catch a lot more of that water. Now again, the reason they're white is because they're limestone. Limestone is porous, so you have to waterproof it. And what they do is they plaster the limestone to waterproof it, and then they paint it. And this is where the science comes in, because they paint it with the lime-based paint. Right? All rainwater has a natural acidity to it. Even though we don't have a lot of pollution here, we still have a natural acid in our rain, right? So what will happen when the rainwater falls onto the roof, the lime in the paint neutralizes the acid in the rain. So you can drink the water right off of your roof. Beaches. You can get a hotel room on the other side, starts at $600 a night. Or you can get one of those standalone cottages that comes with your own pool, your own cook, and your own butler for up to $2,500 a night. Comes with a cook and a butler. It's not bad, right? You come into your room first thing in the morning, the cook starts chefing up breakfast, the butler comes, picks you up out of your bed, puts your pants on for you, sits you down at the table, spoon feed you breakfast. Yeah, but they should, right? $2,500 a night. A lot of big names stay there when they come down, like Elton John, Bill Clinton, with Hillary. That's where they honeymoon, apparently. much information there. We figured out why the musicians were coming down though, because actually if you look right in the middle of the beach right there, that white roof just coming into view, just to the left here, look. Right here, look. Right in the bushes. In between the beaches. That house right there used to belong to a British rock star, married a Somalian supermodel. David Bowie, yeah, that's it.
This is the glass bottom part of the tour, and so we're going to look down and see what fish we can see in this area.
Now we have two different types of coral down here. We have hard coral and we have soft coral. Now an example of the hard coral, you guys are going to see a round object. It's mustard in color and it has lines and grooves just like a brain. Anybody want to take a lucky guess what we call that one? Brain coral, yeah. You guys probably realize by now. Now here in Bermuda, we're pretty simple people. So we like to call things as we see it. So let's see if you guys can guess this next one. It's also circular in shape. It's brighter in yellow, and it looks like the head of a cauliflower. Anybody?
Cauliflower coral.
Exactly, cauliflower coral, yeah. Now another one you guys are going to see down there. It grows in a branch-like form. It's burnt orange in color, and it has white tips on the end. It looks like a fire under the water. So who wants to take a crack at that one? Exactly, fire coral. You guys basically Bermudians now. Now this next one though is a little harder to guess sometimes. It's purple, lives in the sea, looks like a fan. Anyone?
Fan coral.
Close. It's purple, lives in the sea, looks like a fan. Purple sea fan. Yeah, pretty simple, right? Now lastly, you guys are going to see the sea rod or the sea whip. Now these guys are pretty cool because they go through a 12-hour feeding and sleeping cycle. So they feed for 12 hours and then they sleep for 12 hours. See, 2/3 of the ocean's oxygen is produced by these corals. 50% of the oxygen we're breathing right now comes from the ocean. So it's not just those trees on land. Now because of this though, most people think that coral is just a plant. Produces oxygen, must be a plant, right? Well, they are plant cells, but they're also animal cells that live in a symbiotic relationship. So how it works, that plant cell provides the oxygen for the animal cell to survive, and in return that animal cell provides the carbon dioxide for the plant cell to survive. Now we also have a conservation act on the parrotfish. Anybody heard or seen this fish before? Yeah? Now, these guys, they tend to be pretty shy fish, so they don't really like the noise of the boat. So we don't see them too often, unfortunately. But this is the open ocean, so never say never. So if you guys see a parrotfish, please let me know. They come in all your bright rainbow colors. So pink, purple, orange, green, blue. Now they don't just get their name from those pretty colors though, but their teeth, they're fused together to form a beak. Now we call these guys the reef grazers because they go around to these corals and scrape all the algae off of them so it doesn't suffocate them. Now while they are scraping that algae off, they do manage to break off some of that rock. Now it goes through their system and comes out the other end as... Anybody know? Sand. An average sized parrotfish, about that big, can excrete up to 1,000 pounds of sand per year. Yeah, it's a lot of pooping, right? So I have a question for you guys. Anybody went to the beach while they were here?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah?
Sand.
You guys probably got all of them between your toes.
Fish poop.
In your mouth. Guess what? 75% of Bermuda's beaches is parrotfish poop. So there are a few different types of fish that we are going to see under the glass, obviously. But we do have what's called the welcoming committee. Now these guys are very photogenic fish, right? So they're going to come right underneath the glass here, pose for pictures, and I'll tell you all about them, okay? Now, just before we get to the fish show, I'm going to tell you guys about our shipwreck. Yay! Now, we're going to see a real deal shipwreck. You saw a fish? I'll tell you all about them. Okay? There we go. This is the welcoming committee. They come say hi to you guys. Look. Yeah. See, they're on the payroll. We like to keep them around. Yeah, there's actually no fishing within 100 meter circumference of our shipwreck. So these fish, they know that, so they don't tend to venture too far. Now, our shipwreck is right here. Where we're coming on top of now, you guys see that right here? Yeah, that's her. Now I know, it doesn't look like a much like a shipwreck though, doesn't it? Like I said, keep in mind this is a real deal shipwreck, okay? It's not gonna look like the one in your neighbor's fishing. You know, the one with the skeleton, the helm, treasure chest blowing bubbles. Yeah, it's not gonna look like that. It's actually gonna look like the coral reef system we've been looking at this whole time. So, to distinguish the natural coral reef from the shipwreck, you guys are gonna look for perfect shapes, okay? Perfect squares, circles, and straight lines. These are gonna be the hatches, the portholes, and the sides of the boat. See, in nature, it doesn't grow perfectly straight or perfectly round. So when you see these shapes, you know you're looking at some part of the shipwreck, okay? Now where it just drops off into deeper blue water, you guys will know that, there we go, that's a big porthole for you guys right here. Yeah? Over on the side there, we'll probably have the drop off. Come to you guys over this side, see if we can see some of those perfect shapes as well. There we go, hatch, right there. And then right here's, there we go, porthole. You see that? Nice. And like I said, so where it just drops off into deeper blue water, that's gonna be the side of the boat right here. See that? Oh my gosh. Perfect.
Here's the shipwreck up close and in person. There's a shipwreck and you have see all these fishes right near it. So what did I think about the tour? I have been on a glass bottom boat tour before, and the one I was on before, there were a lot more fishes, but on this tour they were able to explain the different types of fishes that was in that area and the different types of coral. If you're a person that like to see a lot of variety of fishes, maybe this won't be for you. The one thing I did like about it, just like a lot of tours, he did tell you about Bermuda and what you were seeing in the distance. Not only that, if you had any questions, he will answer them for you, as well as the fact is one thing to be able to take pictures on land. To me, it is something else to be able to take pictures from the sea. And so you get a different perspective of Bermuda from the sea as well, based upon where we were going and going back to the ship. Would I do it again on another island? Yes, I would do it again on another island, just to be able to get that perspective of the land and sea. I have done tours that included both land and sea option, and I did enjoy it. I did the land in the previous day, and today I did the sea. Can you do me a favor, family? Can you like, comment, subscribe? Click on the notification bell to be informed of future posts. It will greatly help my channel. And for those returning subscribers, thank you so much for supporting the way that you do. And until next time, happy travels.